last remaining superintendent's houses around. There were at one time 56 buildings out there. They've been torn down over the years, and there's only just about 2-3 of them left. And the superintendent's house is one of them. So long term, as a project that we have in conjunction with the National Monument, is to convert that superintendent's house, restore it, and then actually make a museum out of it as kind of a healing truth, what do you want to call it? I want to say truth and consequences, but truth, where the real facts are put out, so that not only can the Native Americans go there and lay some of the old things to rest, hopefully, it's also for the white population to go see and say, you know, we've got a real morbid history that we just kind of brush over when we're in school, that should be brought out, and that how racist we were towards the Native Americans or the indigenous population, and you know, is kind of a healing, truth and healing center. And so that's long term what we're trying to do, but that's probably about 10 years down the road. So kind of just giving an idea.
Are you working like with a local reservation on that? Then,
well, actually, we're working through the Minnesota Historical Society through the legacy grants, that portion of the taxes set aside.
Okay.
And so it's a long process, and it doesn't happen overnight. We're looking at probably, well, for one thing, just to restore the house, we're probably looking at somewhere about $300,000-$400,000 to do that. And then secondly would be to marry that up with the National Park Service, who administers the National Monument.
Is that where the petroglyphs are?
The petroglyphs are further east. This is where they actually, this is the only, let me kind of back up a little bit. The National Monument, the Pipestone National Monument, is the only living monument administered by the Park Service in the nation. And when we say living, there's still active quarry sites there. So the indigenous can actually put a claim on a piece of property in there, not to own it, but to quarry it. And then that's their area to quarry. And then they have to take off anywhere from, 6 to 12 feet of soup quartzite, which is like what this building exterior is made out of, or that wall that's in the lobby. And then that is a very hard stone. That's about, well, the Jasper version of it, which is a town of about 17 miles from here, that is the hardest stone that they know of, and it runs parallel with diamonds. It's that hard. So it's a difficult stone to take off of the edge.
What kind of stone is it?
Soup quartzite.
Soup quartzite. Okay.
Then there's different names to it. They call it Catlinite, which is kind of an insult to the Native American population. But there's a layer of the soft pipestone in there. So once they get that over layer off, then it varies anywhere from 3 to 4 inches to 6-8 inches or more, up to a foot of soft pipestone. When you quarry that out, you can take a rasp file or a hacksaw and actually cut it and form it into a pipe. So pipe makers like we have at our National Monument, Travis Erickson is probably one of the best demonstrators out there. Once he gets what they call a blank, an outline of a pipe cut out of that stone, it takes him about 2 to put a pipe together of the stone. So it's a whole, it's kind of really a proud history of Pipestone. On the flip side of it is the white population really exploited it for a couple different reasons. One was the Indian school, which was where they took indigenous personnel, regardless of where they were at, they just removed them from the family, sent them here to be educated. So it was, it's got a colorful history. So anyway, that's not the Calumet.
But that was after the Trail of Tears, though, right?
Yeah, afterwards, it was in the 1890s, roughly. See, Pipestone wasn't originally settled until the 1870s, 72. Yeah. So it was well after the Civil War. The Trail of Tears was way before the Civil War. In fact, there's some interesting things there where, they kind of got the Native Americans involved in the Civil War process too. So there's a lot of history there. It gets us to the Calumet Hotel where we're sitting today. This is actually the second or third Calumet hotel. The first ones burned. They were located about a block north of where we're at right now. There were wood structures. That was before we had what we call an organized fire department in Pipestone. And when I say organized, prior to the city hall being built, which is the museum across the street. Prior to that being built, some of the pumping equipment was located in one garage someplace, and the hose was in another. So by the time, if they did have a fire, they had to get all this organized and get it to the fire location. So consequently, in wooden hotels burned very rapidly because they had no fire protection at that time, and because of the construction. In about 20 minutes, the whole building burned down. And so then this building is 126, 27 years old, and the paranormal activity really started in earnest after the fire that they had in this hotel on February 14, 1944. And what it was a kitchen fire. It was primarily smoke, but they did get all the people out, except for they did discover when going back through after the fire was put out that there was one room that didn't get evacuated, and that was room 308. And there was a gentleman that was in that room, and the reports are, and there's newspaper stories that confirm this, is that he had tried to get the chain off of the door because of the smoke, what have you. He probably couldn't do it, and so he was overcome by smoke and died. So then after that, that's when things started happening in the hotel. And this is as the stories go. And primarily, and you have to understand, the old hotel where we sit right here was not a bar. This was actually a bank right in this particular area. So this has been remodeled. So in the late 1970s, early 1980s, this building was completely remodeled. And after it was remodeled, that's when stories really started coming out. Prior to that, there were some stories. It was more of a rooming house type thing. The gentleman that we know that was on the Ghost Walk was telling us when he first moved to Pipestone, he lived in one of the rooms, and if he paid 50 cents more a night, he could have a room with his own bathroom. Otherwise, you had to go down the bathroom down the hall. So it was really, really an old rooming house is what it was. So after that happened, and they installed a number of things in the hotel, really some interesting stories started coming out. And I'll just tell you a few, and then I'll open it up for questions. What happened in the telephone, in the staff, primarily will tell you that there's kind of a practical joker, almost. This is not the Freddy Krueger type of ghost that you would find. He's got a really good sense of humor and plays practical jokes. And one of them was, a staff person told us that it came in early in the morning. They were the only one here, and all of a sudden they're at the front desk, which is behind us, and they started hearing the telephone was ringing, and it was coming from the bar. And so she goes, wow. The person started laughing and says, well, perhaps they didn't get the phone hung up, quite right, what have you. So she went to bar, and when she got there, everything was as it should be. But as she was getting ready to leave the bar, the telephone started ringing in here. And it was kind of funny because she was the only one that could boot up the phone and make it ring. And so what she did is she said, Charlie, knock it off. And then that particular incident stopped. There's other stories. Oh golly, I could probably sit here for the next 3 hours, but I won't. When they were remodeling the building, as I was saying, late 70s, early 80s, what they did is they stripped all the plaster and lath off of all the rooms. And so there was no front door, there was no side door over here, there was no back door. So anybody in the public, you could just walk in, and when you were standing back in what we call the entryway, you could actually stand and look up and see the fourth floor just because there was no plaster and lath. It was just like a skeleton of a building. Well, they did that, they had all this stripped all it off except for one room, and that was 308, which was merely a coincidence. What they did, the contractors, would do is they put a hasp and a padlock on that room 308, and they still hand screws and nails and everything else in that room, because like I said, you could just walk in and check things out, so they didn't leave anything laying around. Well, one of the subcontractors told us this story, that he came to work one morning, excuse me, and he got up to the 3rd floor, and he was just really amazed, because on the 3rd floor, all the boxes of screws were lined up in a single row, right down the middle of the hallway. Just as neat as could be. And he looked at that and he was really puzzled. Well, he had a key to the door. He went over, padlock was in place, everything else. So he opened up the door, he looked inside the room, all the tools, nails, everything else that they put in there the night before were exactly where they were, but the screws were all lined up in the hallway. And he said that happened a couple times while they were doing the hotel, which kind of dovetails into another story, that a grandmother and a granddaughter were staying here in one of the rooms. And there was a nightstand there, and it was an older nightstand. It was really kind of nice. And her and the granddaughter were admiring it while they went to bed. The next morning they got up, and all the screws and everything on that nightstand were taken out of it, and it was essentially disassembled. And so the grandmother really got pretty upset with her granddaughter and said, you accused her of getting up and doing this. And the granddaughter said, no. And anyway, the grandmother still was not happy with her, but they put the nightstand back together, got all the screws tightened up and everything else. Next night, virtually the same thing happened. Well, at that particular time, the grandmother said, well, wait a minute, something else is going on here. So it was just kind of interesting. Some of the other stories we had, one was just told this last summer. This one was really hard to believe, but other than I was there to witness it myself. The family comes here every other year and stays in Pipestone for a reunion. And she's the type of person that when she gets to a hotel, she will unpack her suitcase and she'll put it in the dresser and in the closet, hang up the clothes in the closet. So the suitcase is essentially empty. Well, when she gets ready to leave, she packs everything up. And so she did. When she got back to California, she noticed that one of her sweaters was missing. And it would happen to be a black sweater, and she had cut a thumb hole in it, and it had a little stain on the cuff and everything else. So she called back to the hotel. They checked around and couldn't find that sweater. Okay, so 2 years later, she's back and staying in a hotel. She gets into the room. She's going to unpack her suitcase. Opens up the drawer. Her sweater was in that drawer. It was a different room, everything else. What's even more unique about it, she started quizzing the staff, were they playing a joke on her and everything else. Well, the ownership of the hotel had changed in that 2 years. The entire staff had changed in that 2 years. But she had her sweater back. And so what she did, so they kind of asked some people, well, what should she do? And she says, well, you better write a thank you note to, in this particular case, Charlie. And so she did. Some of the other stories, there was a couple staying here. It happened to be over Memorial Day a few years back. They were here for 3 days. And the first night they stayed in one of the rooms upstairs. Nothing really happened. Second night, nothing really happened. Well, the third, they're getting ready to, there's 2 nights they stayed, so the third day, they were getting ready to leave. And so they were going to shower in the morning, so the husband went and took a shower. Okay, and the wife went in and took a shower, and she came out and got some clothes on, was going to go back in and put her makeup on. And when she got to the bathroom back again, the mirror was fogged over, and written in the fog was leave, L-E-A-V-E, and so they did. That was in room 308. So yeah, see you later, Jack. We've had numbers of people. There's a tie-in between a little blonde girl in a blue dress that's been seen sitting in the 2nd and 3rd story windows of the museum. There's also been a blonde girl seen looking out at the windows of the dining room. And we don't know if it's the same blonde girl or not. Haven't been able to get that tied together. some of the other things, the staff will say, especially this time of year, because, you know, it gets dark early in the morning when they come to work, it's dark. They'll park their cars in the south end of the hotel, they'll walk up the street to the side door, and when in the dining room, it's backlit or night light on in there essentially, and they'll catch a glimpse of a person standing in the window in a brown tweed suit, watching them come to work. Well, if they do get that glimpse and they come in the side door and they run into the dining room, there's no one there. So you know, they don't know, they think it's Charlie, but that's been happening on a number of occasions. And what's really kind of interesting too is this happened a couple years ago. There was a couple staying in a room, and they heard quite a commotion going on out in the hallway. Noise, footsteps, sounded like people running. They also thought they smelled smoke, and they thought, oh my gosh, you know, what's going on? And so they were getting ready to just open up the door and stick their head out in the hallway when there was a rap on the door. And a person that was there, standing there, introduced himself as Chris and said, don't worry, everything's under control, you know, just go back to bed, there's really nothing happening. You know, so they stayed awake for a while, listening, and sure enough, nothing was really happening. So they went to sleep, they were checking out the next morning, told the hotel staff, you know, hey, the night watchman, apparently Chris, was on duty last night, and explained about the noise in the hallway and what have you, and said, really thank Chris, you know, for giving his heads up, because that was really nice of him to go around and knock on the doors. And the hotel staff was looking at him kind of curious and said, okay, and so could you give a description of the individual, so they gave him a physical description of what they remembered. So the hotel staff said, well, we're asking you to do this because we don't want to say thank you to the wrong Chris, because they had more than one Chris. So a couple of weeks after that, there was a truck driver who runs a route, had checked in kind of late, was really tired, you know, he was so tired he couldn't sleep. So what he was doing, he was just really getting ready to pace up and down the hallways and what have you. He ran across this gentleman and he asked the truck driver, what you doing? He said, well, I'm so tired I can't sleep. And so they got to talking a little bit, and this individual introduced himself as Chris. And said, would you like a tour of the hotel? So they took him through the entire part of the hotel. They showed him basement, you know, what have you, the heating up into the bars here, main floor, all the floors. And it was really quite a tour, according to this truck driver. And so then they even talked about Hotel Hell was here, it was here for an episode, told them all about that, told them about the remodeling, really a lot of detail. So after that, a period of time, the truck driver said, well, gee, I'm really pretty tired, I go back to bed. So they parted ways, he went up to his room. Well, the next morning he went to the hotel staff and said, gee, you know, really thank Chris, apparently your night watch person or whoever's ever on duty, for the wonderful tour. And he kind of explained the whole thing to him. And again, the hotel staff was very curious, and they said, well, so make sure that we say thank you to the right Chris. Can you give a physical description of it? And he did. Well, what was unique about this, in both of those stories, and they were only a couple weeks apart, is that there was no Chris working here at the time. So what they did do is they went over, we had a Betty was working at the museum, and Betty unfortunately has had a severe stroke and is in the nursing home right now, so she can't even communicate with anybody. But at that time, she was really interested in the history of Pipestone, some of the paranormal activities. So hotel staff went over to Betty and said, we had these two reports, give them a rundown of the two reports. It says, this is a description that they gave to us. And Betty went, okay. Well, about 2 hours later, here she comes, across the street from the museum, over to the staff and said, based on the description you were giving, this, you know, this should be the individual. And the people, hotel staff said, well, agreed based on the physical description that they had, that should be the individual. So the hotel staff asked, who was that? And it was Christopher, I can't think of his last name right now, I apologize for that, but that was a person who died here on February 14th, 1944 in the hotel fire. And so that was the first confirmation we have that it was this individual. So it's kind of really abbreviated. Like I said, I could go on for another 3 hours. So I'll just kind of open it up for any questions that you might have.
All right, well,
Sure.
you mentioned Charlie a couple of times in your stories, like who's...
Charlie
Who's
and
Charlie?
Chris are probably the same person, Christopher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. They kind of nicknamed him, and then up until that, and that was about 2 years ago that he actually introduced himself to these people.
Gotcha.
That's the first time we knew that it was Christopher.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so there's just a lot, excuse me, a lot going on in this town too, just
Yes.
from a historical standpoint to
Yes.
paranormal activity.
Yep.
That's really nice. And I know when we first drove up here, like I was telling Tammy, just driving up in this area, seeing like the big, huge building, it sticks out in a way that just sort of brings you into like another part of the world.
It really does.
Yeah.
And the reason for the hotel, we used to have several hotels. In fact, there's kind of a sad story. This is kind of an interesting one. It doesn't have anything to do with paranormal, but where the new steakhouse is, just over here, we ended up tearing down 3, really some of the older buildings in town down because they became unstable, the roofs were bad, what have you. I mean, they were just, unfortunately, they had to be taken down. In the process of doing that, we discovered that there was through research we found out that there was a place called the Saratoga Hotel, and really kind of a flop house. And in 1914, they had a fire in the back of that hotel. Well, the fire was quite severe. It nearly burned through the floor, from the second floor to the first floor. But they did get it out. But after that happened, they went and sealed that good portion of that hotel off and just built a wall. And so that was in place for just about 100 years. And no one really knew about it. And through an architect was looking at the building to see if they could utilize the upstairs, because the upstairs kept coming up smaller than the downstairs. When you go outside, well, it's all there. And so what they did is they punched a hole through that wall, and they found a bar that had not been disturbed for nearly 100 years that was in that fire. And there were 2 stuffed geese, or swans, 2 stuffed swans that were in there. There were some old palms. The old natural gas light, or the gaslight lighting system was still there. It was like you walked to this hole in the wall, and it was like leaving 2000 something another, 2014, and going back to 1914. It was just phenomenal. Yeah, it was really neat. Filtered down to this area. Some of this is lore, some of this is fact. But then if you get over to Garrettson, they have a gap between rocks. I don't know if you've ever heard the story about Jesse James jumping over that gap and lost the posse behind him. And there's probably 2 things that happened there. I know of a person who his ancestors were on a posse that they put together over in Murray County, which is, yeah. And what they did is they followed, because we're out in the plains, you can see quite a ways if you go over the hill. They followed like a mile or 2 behind Jesse James just to kind of make sure they cleared out of the area, so they never tried to capture him. So part of that is history, and part of it's lore, but he did come through relatively close to this area on his way to Garrettson, South Dakota.
Yeah, so it could have been staying in this area.
Yeah, there's the farm place is gone, but what they call it, the old 2-story farmhouses used to have a flat spot on top, and they called it the Widow Walk. And allegedly that was north of Pipestone, 5 miles, and about 2 miles east, and about a quarter mile north again. That farm place is completely gone now, but it kind of sits on a pretty good rise in the area, so that if you were on that 2nd story, that house, you'd be able to see several miles. And so allegedly he stayed overnight there.
It's going to be a perfect spot too. You can see everywhere.
Yeah.
See who's coming after you.
Yeah, you have plenty of time to pack up and run before they even got near you.
Right, and again, like I said, the posse that was formed up east of here that kind of pushed them through this area were not interested in getting anywhere close to them. They just said,
My great-grandfather supposedly was a tracker on that one.
okay.
Because they lived in Cason or Cassoon, just out of Northfield at
Yep.
that time.
Mhm, yep.
Were they just trying to drive it away?
Pretty much just keep them moving through
Yeah,
out of the area.
Right.
go rob somebody else's town.
Yeah. Don't bother us. Well, good, thank you. I shall leave you and you can
Yes,
go
thank you so much
about
once again.
drinking,
Appreciate it.
spirits and what have you.
Thanks, Myron.
Thank you. That's my
Have a great day.
You
Yep.
too.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Project Origin is here tonight to start the investigation. As you can see, one of the rooms that we rented was 308. This room is rumored to be one of the most active rooms in a hotel with paranormal activity. In 1944, a fire broke out, and a gentleman named Charles or Chris unfortunately passed away within this room. As you can see coming up here, Tammy, the owner, actually painted Charles on a wall. As you can see, it's sort of a motion of one of the jobs he was doing as he was mapping out the railroads. We are also staying in room 207. There's been reports of paranormal activity here as well, and guests have even left in the middle of the night due to something they've experienced. We're also staying in room 209, the Victorian Vista. The owner is also going to give us a couple more keys so we can experience a couple more things throughout the hotel and check out some of the other rooms.
Okay, we're good.
So, let's say Project Origin here. We're doing a live Facebook feed at the Calumet Inn. We're currently in room 308. It's a room that's reported to have the most activity here. But I want to do an introduction too. My name is Justin. We have Heather down here.
Look at the camera, Heather.
We have April controlling that live Facebook feed behind. Yeah, there she is. We have Tiffany right over there holding a camcorder. And we have Dana.
Hello.
And we have Leanne. And then Jack. I skipped him and went back from over there. So we wanted to do a little talking and explain about the room. I was going to have Jack help share some of the information we had found out earlier. So yeah, Jack here.
Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. This is room 308 at the Calumet Hotel in Pipestone. This over here was done by the owner, Tammy. Great artist, super artist. Her daughter is, her mom was too. This is a picture. I'm just going to give you a little bit of flavor here with it now. Is that this is just part of Pipestone County. The guy in the picture is Chris. He died in this room, but he's known as Charlie in the hotel here, and he goes around playing pranks on people and doing different things. Very interesting guy. Haven't had any experience with him
That's
yet.
just Jack's.
He was in charge of mapping the county.
But this over here, this compass, which was painted by Tammy and her daughter, they painted this, and not knowing it, when they finished it, they forgot to put Southwest on here. And they didn't notice that until somebody said, "Why didn't you put the SW on the Southwest?" They said they didn't realize they did it. But anyways, that's because Charlie or Chris never got to finish it, because in 1944, the hotel caught on fire. And everybody was out except for Chris and Charlie. Chris or Charlie. So he supposedly died in here, and there's going to be stories to come about Charlie's little adventures. So anyways, now, Lee.
These are dowsing rods, in case you haven't seen them before. And what I do is I communicate with spirit. Sometimes I use these. And I asked the spirit to cross the rods for yes and keep them straight for no. And so I'll just start right now and I'll ask if anybody is here in the room with us. If somebody is here in the room with us, if you could please cross the rods for me. And we have the rods crossed. Thank you so much. Can you straighten them back out again?
Yeah, can we see it on the camera?
I can.
Well, yeah, you have my picture.
All right. Thank you so much. They told me you were here. May I ask if this is Chris, or otherwise known as Charlie? Are you here in the room with us right now? And that's a yes. All right, thank you. Can you straighten them back out? Thank you very much. Is it okay if we're recording you right now?
That's just the wires.
And that's a yes. If you can straighten them back out for us, thank you so much. Is there anybody besides Chris here with us? Nope, it looks like we've got Chris, also known as Charlie, in the room with us. Does anybody else have any questions? If you are at home watching and you want to ask a question, we can do that for you here too.
Hi, Carly.
I'm getting activity on the rods.
Charlie, can you use the rods to point to where you're standing in the room?
Over by Jack?
I think he's on the bed in front of me, yeah.
Yeah. Also on the floor, we've got a device called a REM pod that a lot of paranormal investigators use. And if you touch that, you can light it up. So you can use that, or you can use my rods.
Like that.
Yep. Or you can do either one, whichever works easier for you. I'm happy to let you use my energy to move these rods. Anybody else have any questions?
Do you like to pull pranks on the guests here, Charlie?
That's a yes.
That's a strong yes.
That's a definite
Can you
yes.
straighten them back out again? Thank you. You know, you're pretty well known for that, for pulling pranks.
Carly's asking, how do the rods work?
They just use, the spirit either uses my energy to twist them. These are just plain copper rods with a handle on them so that they spin easily. Like if I want to, I can just like spin them. But if they're moving on their own, all I'm doing is holding the rods. So if they're moving on their own, that's spirit energy moving them. And I don't know exactly how spirit does it, but they do it really good. Chris or Charlie, if you're here with us right now, can you just move the rods to my right?
Whoa, there you go.
Thank you so much. Can you straighten them back out?
Thank you.
I just
Thank
really
you.
like them because it's very definitive. You know, it's clearly I'm holding my hand still. So this is something that's...
Can you point them to the left now? Ooh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.
That really helps us. That helps everybody at home understand that you're here too.
So Chris, I have a question for you. Did you help some people out here in the past? We were talking to the mayor today and he was telling us some stories that someone named Chris was able to help some people and give them a tour of the Calumet Inn here. Was that you?
Yes, it was.
Wow.
Rods.
Wow, that was
Thank you, Chris.
fast.
I appreciate that. Thank you for answering.
Do you think you can give us a tour later? Yeah, we'd appreciate that if you could.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. Thank you for straightening them back out.
Chris is
That
the
helps
man.
us. Yeah. The tour guide
That's
from the
it.
other side.
There you go.
So people call you Charlie, but is your name really Chris?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to confirm that. Thank you.
You got the obelisk going too?
Are you the one who likes to move things around on people sometimes? Yeah, that's what we thought. Thank you.
Do you ever get any of the other spirits in this hotel to pull pranks with you? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a funny guy, aren't you?
So Charlie, was that?
Yes, I am.
So Charlie, was that you that knocked over the bottle down in the bar a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Were you mad at something? Was somebody
No.
being disrespectful?
He was just
You
messing with them.
just wanted some attention, maybe?
Wanted a drink. He wanted a drink.
I just want
Oh,
a drink. Yeah.
Ah, Charlie.
My hands are starting to hurt. I'm just gonna shift a little bit here. I know when they're using my energy a lot, sometimes like my hands will cramp up, so I just needed to adjust. Okay, we're back. We're back. All right.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank
Or
you.
Chris.
So Chris, do you mind us being guests here?
Nope.
That's great. Well, we enjoy being in your company, and we're glad that we can be here and communicate with you.
Was that you in the bathroom earlier when we first came in?
No?
No.
Is there a spirit down in the closet?
Oh, yeah.
In which
Yeah.
closet?
In
In
207?
207?
207.
Okay, let's start this over because I'm staying there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a spirit in the closet of room 207? Okay,
Thank
I'm gonna ask
Thank
another
you.
question.
I said, ask him if
Straighten
the
them out,
spirit's
please.
him.
Thank you.
Is
Thank you
this
so much.
Thank
You
you.
doing okay?
I'm doing fine.
Okay.
Just a lot of energy moving through me
Is
right
the
now.
spirit that's in the closet in 207 friendly?
No.
Mm-mm.
Is
Okay.
it dangerous? No.
Okay. No.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Okay.
So, am I okay to sleep in room 207?
Yep,
Yeah.
you're fine. Yep.
Okay.
Is there anything?
Thank you. Can you straighten them out?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything that we can do to help that spirit, Charlie?
No.
I heard like a no in my like.
Yeah. I'm getting a phone now.
Does that spirit in room 207 want to stay here, or does he want to stay here?
Yes.
I almost asked an open-ended question, and then I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that doesn't work.
We only
Thank you.
came.
Straighten them out. Thank
Okay,
you
I have
very
one more
much.
question.
Yeah.
Because I'm staying in that room, you know. So in room 207, should I leave the closet closed?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's your
Definitely.
There we go.
Thank you.
Can you straighten it back out again for me, Chris?
So,
Thank you so
Chris, how about in room 209? Is there a spirit in that room?
Oh yeah.
Thank
He's the
you.
tour guide. He,
Yeah, you're a very good tour guide. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is it an older lady in 209?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris, did you die in this room?
I feel a little bit of chest pain right now.
Yeah, I'm really.
I got a question.
I don't think you died in this room. That was
Died
a no.
in 4.
Did you-
Did you die on the 4th floor?
Yeah.
I got chills.
Hmm.
And
Thank
it's
you.
Maybe he
so
just likes this room.
much.
Well, yeah, his picture's painted on the wall.
Yeah.
Is there a room above this room on the 4th floor?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
can- Is it the room above this room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they
That's
just
what I
got-
thought.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking that too. I think
Yeah.
they just.
Is that
I think they
vacant?
just got
You know, stories get mixed up.
it
sometimes.
mixed up in the legacy of 308. Yeah.
I wonder if
I
we
have
can get in
chest
that room.
pain, like stabbing pain, like almost like if you can't breathe.
Chris, is there anything that we can do to help you?
Are you happy here?
I was just about to ask that.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Well, we are happy that you are here,
You can straighten them out, please.
and we
Thank
appreciate you working with us with the rods. Thank you.
Does the picture on the wall look like you?
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
No. He was much more debonair in the pictures downstairs.
Ask
Yeah.
if he,
These are
if he's the one
handsome.
that helped, like,
I wish I had his hair.
Did you? Sorry, go ahead.
Did you inspire them to forget the southwest corner on the compass?
Yes.
Very
Wow.
clever.
Very nice.
Wonder how you did that.
There's touches of Chris all over this building thanks to you.
Yeah. Do you enjoy Tammy and her family being here and keeping this place going?
Yeah.
chills.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Chris, if I can ask you a question, since that mural on the wall doesn't look like you, I'm gonna ask you a couple questions about what you look like then. Are you a tall man?
Eh.
Are you maybe
Average height?
I have a question.
Can you straighten it back out again?
Thank you. Are you as tall as Justin over here? About as tall as him?
Kinda.
Are you taller?
Yeah.
Thank you. You can straighten them out.
Do you have dark hair?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let's let him straighten them out.
Yeah, we should probably slow down so we can.
Catch up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Do
you for
you-
answering all these questions.
Do you have a beard or mustache?
No.
Oh, clean shaven.
What do you think about beards? Do you like beards? That is a solid no.
That is a no. That is a no.
Okay. So, do you think I should shave?
Yes.
All right, I think I get that hint then. Well, thank you. Thank you for
Thank
answering
you.
that.
Debonair men of the time had
Yes.
clean-shaven faces.
That's very true.
Yes.
Were you married, Chris?
I think maybe he was engaged.
Engaged?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like
He's like, I kind
I got a
of was.
full jerk in my body for that one.
Okay. Thank you. Straighten them out. Thank you.
Bet your fiance missed you.
Do you get to see your
It's just
fiance
the
now?
noises of the other people walking outside, if you're wondering.
Your fiance is not here with you?
Solid no.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for answering the questions.
So, Chris, is there anywhere you'd like us to maybe check out tonight? Do you want us to go check out the kitchen?
That's kind of like a maybe.
Maybe.
What about the bar when everything's like mellow? You want us to check out the bar when everybody's done down there?
Yep.
Yeah.
You
Come have a
straighten
drink
that
with
out?
us.
Thank you. Can you straighten it out? Do you want to have a drink with us?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You can pick what we're drinking. You can just toss a bottle off the shelf.
I'm jerking just a little bit because I'm getting a lot of like energy thrust through me.
You can toss the bottle off the shelf, just don't tell Tammy that we asked you to.
Otherwise, you're gonna owe her some money.
One of us should catch it, so.
Thank you. Can you open them back up, please? Thank you.
Do you want us to have that Crown Royal for you?
Are you a whiskey guy? Do you like whiskey in general? Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Can you open them back up, please? Thank you for
I
answering
think he
all
might
these
be-
questions. He's getting
Yeah,
tired.
he's
getting
getting
Yeah.
tired.
We're
And
asking him a lot of
he's
questions.
really pushing through me really hard for every
He's
question.
probably
so
extending his
I
energy.
think we're
Okay.
running out for a little bit.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Charlie.
you, Charlie
Thank you.
slash Chris.
Charlie.
Thank you so
Chris,
much. Can you say
thank
goodbye to the people? Oh, sorry. Okay, let's try that again. Can you say goodbye to the people? Thank you so
Bye,
much.
Chris.
Bye, Chris.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to stay live?
I'm wondering if maybe we should go over to 311
You
next.
can stay
Yeah.
live if we don't get any of the people walking around.
Yeah.
People stopping.
Yeah, you can just aim it down at the floor if
Yeah,
somebody.
Okay, Leanne.
Tell me to be back in a few minutes.
Okay, 1 second. If I aim down at the floor, it's just because we don't want to get any of the other guests on the camera. We want to respect their privacy. But I'm going to stay live.
Do you have the?
While we do that, while we go to the other
Bring the
rooms.
REM pod with us because they like the REM pod in that room.
We probably.
Oh, shoot.
It's on my phone, but
Do you have the recorder?
If you were hung in this room, can you please touch this like this? Does not want to play with the REM pod. All right, let's try these. All right. Can you see enough?
Yep.
There's someone in the room with us. Can you please cross the rods for me? Thank you. Can you straighten them back out? Just to validate, if there's someone in the room with us, can you move them to my right? Both of them?
To her right, not yours.
Thank you very much. Can you straighten them out? Wonderful. Questions?
Are you a male?
If you're a male, yes is always crossing the rods, no is keep them straight. Are you a male? Thank you. Can you straighten them back out again? Flashlight just came on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
so much. Can you touch the REM pod too? The little thing that lights.
That right there. That's just the elevator outside.
Right
That
here.
noise.
Just like
Oh, thank
that.
you for turning off the flashlight.
Thank you for turning off the light. Thank you so much. You can use the light if you want to say yes or no.
That on can be yes.
Yep, on can be yes. Or you can move the rods, whichever works best for you, whichever is easier for you.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Do you have brown hair? Can you turn on the flashlight if you have brown hair? Kind of an odd question.
I have
Across the rods.
Oh, okay.
We've got action all over the place. The rods are fine too.
I
We're watching
see brown
both.
hair. Or I think brown hair.
Okay. Can you open them back up again? Straighten them back out. Thank you so much. Thank you. Can you tell me if you had an accident in this room? If you did, please say yes with the rods or the light. Let's say yes with the rods. Thank you very much. Can you straighten them back out again? Were you hung in this room? Cross the rods for yes. Thank you so much. You can open them back up again. I felt that. I felt the hanging. I felt that feeling. The light flashed. Thank you. Thank you for turning on the flashlight.
Should we guess the age?
That's what I was
Are you
thinking.
in your 30s?
That's what I was
Or were
thinking.
you in your 30s?
Yep, that's
I'm
what I
picking
was
up on
thinking.
30. I don't know.
That's what I picked up on too, and I was.
Thank you so much. You
Not
can
good
use
at
the
speaking up, but I
flashlight
need to
as
start.
well. Should we move the flashlight over here so it's easier for you, so you don't have to jump back and forth?
That's a yes.
Yes.
I was going to say, I also want to say, and I could not be right on this, green eyes.
Back out. Did you have green eyes? Yes.
Did you want to move the flashlight quick
Thank
so it's
you
closer
so
for him?
much.
Should I move it closer?
And maybe put it over by the round pot. Is it okay if we move the light, the
Yeah, you better
flashlight?
ask.
Is it okay if we move the flashlight over closer, or do you like it right there? If you want us to move it, cross the rods. All right,
I
we'll
don't
leave
think
it
it
there.
did. That's why I'm like, no.
We'll leave it there. Thank you so much. Thank you for communicating with us and telling us. You can turn the light on if you want to.
Okay.
Are you the only one in the room with us? If yes, cross the rods. Oh, REM pod just went off.
Thank you.
Should we like guess name?
Names are hard this
So does that mean yes then?
Is there also a female in this room? Either use the rods, the REM pod, the flashlight. If there's a female in the room as well.
That's what I was
Yes.
wondering, yeah.
Thank you so much. Can you straighten it back out?
I was just testing my intuitive.
Is she younger than you?
No.
Okay.
Does a letter of someone's first name in this room maybe start with a B?
Thank you so much. Is the female the one whose name starts with a B?
Yes.
Ow.
I don't know.
That's a yeah. I'm getting pulled. My
I
hands
pick
feel
up on like a
pulled.
Betty, but that might be a little bit too accurate.
And I was getting Beatrice. Can you straighten them back out again?
Sometimes people call Beatrice Betty, though.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Was your name Beatrice? Was your name Betty?
I feel like.
Was it Elizabeth? Light, flashlight.
Okay.
Flashlight, I can't get
And
that
I'm
on
getting
camera.
across.
'Cause this is
Which Beth? B.
Beth, yeah, Elizabeth. Thank you. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you so much.
I heard
Elizabeth.
something in my head like, I don't like the name Beatrice or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Okay.
that's fine. You like Elizabeth? That's good. Whatever you like. For the male, is the male still in the room with us? The man?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Can you open it back up again? Thank you. I'm getting a real pain in my back.
I'm getting like a weird sensation in my back too,
And,
like goosebumps.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is that you?
Are you the one who's making me feel pain in my back and I'm choking a little bit?
Yes, that's you.
Okay. Can you ease up just a little bit? Because it's painful
Okay, now
for
I feel
me.
something like behind me.
Yeah, and I'm covered with stuff. Thank you so much.
I have the
We-
chills. I feel pain on my back too, but I'm holding the camera, so I don't want to like say that.
We completely respect you. We are here to listen to you. We appreciate you being with us. And I understand that you're with us by making us feel things, and that's okay. If you could just be gentle a little bit with us so that we feel it, but it doesn't actually hurt us. And I will be happy to communicate with you in that way. Thank you so much for the time you're giving us tonight. We need to check what our... Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
there's two.
Yep.
Both
Oh,
of them,
and
right?
it's moving. It's spinning.
What's spinning?
The REM pod is spinning.
It's moving
It
physically?
turned. It physically turned.
Are you getting this on camera?
I might have my focus went off because I'm manually focusing
thank
it.
you.
So
Thank you so much. Can somebody check what time it is on my telephone? I can
I
check
have my phone in my pocket.
I
One
have
second.
it
I
right
don't
here.
have my phone with me.
It is 10:20.
All right, we have 10 more minutes with you, and we would love to talk some more. And there's, oh, thank you for the flashlight. Thank you for the flashlight. Are you glad we're in here? Are you glad we're in here to talk to you? If you can let us know you're glad, like, light something up. Or cross my rods right
Or that
here.
we're not bothering you, maybe.
Thank you so much. Can you open them back up again? Straighten them out. Thank you. Thank you so much. Is it okay if a group of friends come in here later on and we talk some more? Is that okay with you? If it is, can you cross the rods or turn on one of the lights? And there'll be a lot of us in the room all at one time, but we are all here out of respect and love and light, and we want to just acknowledge your presence here because we really do appreciate your time and your energy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That is very nice of you. I appreciate that you're lighting up for us. Would you be willing to turn on the flashlight for us? I see it, like, I see you trying. If you could turn on the flashlight for us, the one that's in the bathroom, that's on the floor over there,
Then we can really know it's you that's doing it.
that'll really help us.
Can we give it a countdown?
We can do a count. Oh,
Yes.
See,
Okay.
that's always
Okay.
fun, right?
yep.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna count to 5, and when I get to 5, can you turn the flashlight on?
Are you willing to do that? We'll give it a shot. If you don't want to, that's okay.
Okay.
I feel like there's
So
a
when I-
little kid in the room right now.
Yep.
Oh, well, maybe they want to play.
Yep. I
So-
love that you're lighting it up.
All right. So
Thank
when I
you.
get to 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Can you do it? You can do it.
Come on.
You got
5.
this. I am completely freezing.
It's cold.
If you're around me right now, can you either light up one of the lights or cross my rods? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, though.
Or
Thank
maybe,
you.
There's
maybe
one
they like
rod.
to play with that. So maybe on the count of 5, can you light them
I
on?
think that it's a little kid right now.
Okay.
But I
Is there
could
a
be
little kid
wrong.
with us? Is there a child in the room? A little boy or a little girl? You can light the lights up. Is there a little boy or a little girl? I'm a grandma. We've got some moms in the room. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. That's a great job. Can you do it again?
Thank you. Good job.
Maybe 5's
Awesome.
too long. We should try the count of 3.
Let's do 3.
People don't. I have patience.
And you can do either the light in the bathroom or you can do the one with the pretty lights here on the table. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2,
2.
3.
3.
You just want to do it on your own time, don't you?
Yes.
That's
Are you being silly?
You are being silly. And that's okay. That's okay. Later on, when we come in, there'll be other grown-ups, but everybody's really friendly and they all like to play games. So we can play games together. We can use the rods or we can use the lights. Do you want to play a game later on with a bunch of people? Yeah? All right. Thank you so much. Can you straighten it back out again? Just to confirm, are the grown-ups in the room? The lady, Elizabeth, and the man? Are you okay with us coming back in a little bit? Yeah. Thank you so much. We're going to go and we're going to talk to some of our friends.
I feel like someone's pulling on my pant leg, like a little kid.
Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff going on. We're going to go here in just a couple more minutes. Is that okay? That's okay. Light something up or move my rods. Because we have to go and meet our friends so that we can come back here and talk some more. Okay? It's a yes with the rods. Thank you so much.
No,
And
thank
the
you.
light. Thank you. All right, let's open them back up. Good job. See, now you've got all kinds of ways that you can talk to us later.
Can you turn the flashlight on one more time, maybe?
Can we try?
Can we try?
Try it.
Maybe it's too far away.
It's pointing my rods towards the
It's in the
flashlight.
bathroom and the doorbell.
And
Yes, it just went off when you said that. Do you want us to go closer to the flashlight?
Will it help you if I move over towards the flashlight?
Yes.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go over towards the flashlight. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. You guys are doing great. I really
Oh, light
appreciate
just
it.
went off, REM pod. Just went off.
All right, I'm gonna be right here.
Should I move the REM pod over here?
Yeah, so we can see it.
Oh, thank you. We have a
Thank you.
flashlight. Yay! Awesome
That's just me.
job.
That's just me.
Okay.
So awesome.
Where do you want that? Just right there, maybe? Wait, I don't know if that's something else putting it off or not. Oh, flashlight.
Flashlight.
Okay, yeah. Oh, maybe that was them.
Flashlight, REM pod, you can use either one. The one with the pretty lights or the white light on the floor. One more time.
Go over here by the.
I'm not going to count. You get to do it whenever you want to do it. Thank you. Good job. Good job. And thank you for turning on the flashlight on the floor when I came over here. That was really nice of you. I appreciate it. Okay. We have to wrap up our session. But I promise we will come back in a little bit. And if you could still do this for us,
Yep, that was a yes.
that would be really great, okay? Is that okay? I hear a chattering in my ear. A little chatter. All right.
Something's touching my back over here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys so much. We really, really appreciate it, and we will come back in a little bit, okay? All right, thank you. Talk to you soon.
In the room that would like to talk to us? Actually, I need to set this down, don't I?
You don't have to, as long as you don't wiggle it around too much.
I'll put it over here.
So is it going?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask a question again. Is there anything here, anybody here, that has anything to do with Gail, Sally, or a key?
Or Keith.
Here's some knocking going on in the hallway from someone making some noise.
Yeah.
I think that's the neighbors.
Yeah, somebody's in the hall.
There's a little device there in between Justin and Jack. It's got a green light on it. If you walk in front of it or wave your hand in front of it, it'll light up with more lights in different colors. Can you make it do that?
If you're afraid to come by us, I can put it on the floor. That way you can just sweep in front of us. Can you move it to the next light? Try really, really hard.
Can you give us a knock on the wall so I know you're here, please?
That's car noises in the background.
Mm-hmm.
How about a Randy? Randy, are you here? Or Anna?
Do you want to talk to us? Did you guys hear a yeah?
All I hear is the people in the room next to us. Do you want us to leave this room?
Are you on my left side? Can you tap my shoulder if you want us to leave? I feel pressure on my shoulder, but I'm not sure.
If that was you who touched Tiffany's shoulder, can you do it again so she knows?
You can use my energy.
Are you tired of all these questions? Do you want to play more? Are you a more playful spirit? Can you do some interaction? Can you complete this?
Can you say one of our names? Should we stop it and listen?
Yeah, you could.
Oh shit, I forgot about that. Michael, if you're still in here, can you tell us what you want from us?
Friend?
Trying to communicate.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
Who are you trying to communicate with?
Dead? You dead.
Are you trying to communicate with a specific person?
Someone in this room you want to communicate with?
You say like Justin? No.
The dozen that said yes to that question.
I was gonna say, I feel like I heard my name, but I wasn't sure because I'm not very good at picking things out of here yet.
Who did it? Who was it? Did you pick up?
It just said, do you want to communicate with somebody in this room? She said that it's yes.
I heard Mike again.
Can you? I don't know if that works. Everybody's over there. I was gonna say point in the direction of who it is. Pointing this way.
Jack.
Huh?
It's trying to talk to Jack.
Mike, are you trying to talk to Jack?
Did it say Alan? Do you know an Alan at all? Because I've heard Alan a few times.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's just
Yeah, it's that one. That could even be something that's coming through.
Do you know anybody named Alan? Because I heard that in the other room a few times too.
Same time.
Jack. Do you know anybody named Alan?
Yeah.
Anybody passed.
Because I've heard it a few times today.
That's what I know of. I mean, I know Alan's, but I haven't talked to him in a long time. So I wouldn't know if they were
Okay.
alive or dead.
Sorry? Did you say you're sorry? What are you sorry for?
Lisa?
Lisa.
Very mad.
Lisa's mad at you?
No, just mad at Lisa.
They were horrible. I got chills. So I wanna.
Flicker right.
Can you tell us who Lisa is?
Liquor.
Is she your
Oh, I thought you meant like
is Lisa
liquor.
your wife or your friend or your sister? Tell us who Lisa is to you.
One at a time. Is Lisa your wife?
Cousin, I thought I heard cousin.
Was Lisa your girlfriend?
Cousin?
Girlfriend.
Cousin? I was watching the.
I heard cousin at one point too, I thought.
Was Lisa your cousin? Was Lisa your girlfriend?
Your sister? Sister.
Girlfriend.
It started moving at girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you want to say sorry to Lisa for? What are you sorry for?
Nice.
September.
Did you and Lisa get into a fight?
Ma'am?
You straighten them out?
Can you tell us what the fight was about?
I thought it said we're cousins. We're cousins.
Oh, I'm scrambling on.
Were you fighting about recovery? I heard recovery at first.
That's what I heard, something about recovery too.
Recovery.
And maybe they were
Recovery,
asking for you, Jack, because you were kind of talking about
Oh yeah, you're the
that
recovery
program,
thing.
like,
Yeah.
you know, this
Healing.
Did Lisa get hurt when you guys were fighting?
You straighten back out. Thank you.
Have you been able to speak to Lisa since you've passed away?
No.
Do you know that you're dead?
Bye. Ooh.
Yes. Thank you. Can you straighten it out?
Is Lisa dead?
Yeah.
Older?
You want to lay down here, girl?
No, I'm okay. I just did. I had a sharp pain on my hip, so I just want to make sure it's just not.
Did you hurt Lisa in your fight?
Yes.
Thank you. Is that why you're sorry?
Was it an accident or was it on purpose?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Was it an accident?
That's what I was gonna ask. I think it was.
Were you drunk?
Not really.
Were you angry? Maybe sit. You want me to sit? Okay.
Jeff, it's pulling me towards you. I think you need to ask the question.
Yeah.
It's really
Do you
pulling.
need Jack to help you move, recover and move on?
Yes. Do you know Jack?
Do you know what Jack does for a living? Yeah. Hop on in, bro.
Go ahead, Jack.
I think he wants help from someone.
He probably wants to see Lisa, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know you're dead.
If it starts to fade out, just tap it so it lights back up.
Okay. So Alan,
Mike?
Mike is
or
it
Michael?
Yeah.
Is it Michael? Okay.
Look at no.
Are you
Michael.
Mike? Okay.
Jack.
friend.
The Mike.
Transportation.
He needs help crossing over. Transportation, yeah.
A red and a blue one.
You can read.
Yeah.
Got chills.
Needs you to transport over. Do you want me to hold on to those?
Do you need to
I feel
cross over,
really
Mike?
sad right now. Like really
Okay.
sad. My eyes are watering.
Okay. Starting to get chills.
I feel really, really
Okay,
sad.
so Mike, forget what happened. You know?
He feels really bad.
I know you feel bad. And you may be angry, ashamed, but it doesn't matter right now.
That's what's keeping you here instead of moving on.
What you need to do is to forget about that and cross over. And to cross over, you need to go to a light. Do you understand that? Okay.
You can forgive yourself. It's okay.
Mike, you're gonna be forgiven. Okay? You're gonna be forgiven. Don't hold it against yourself. It's okay.
I'm sure Lisa still loves you. She's waiting for you on the other side, wondering where you are.
So, can you find a spot for a light? Like right now, there's some churches around here. Churches are a good beacon of light.
Yes.
Okay. Go to a church, go to the light, and walk into the light. And you'll have all your answers answered, questions answered, once you go into the light. You'll be forgiven.
What's it say?
You'll be able to move on.
Hasn't changed. Says transportation. It's showing up off and on.
And
He's back.
can you do
Yellow.
that? Can you go to the light? Okay.
He's yellow.
Do you see it? Yeah.
I can't lead you to the
George.
light
George?
because you have to go there yourself.
Do you know who George is?
Did you used to drive bus? Okay, okay.
Is that two
I
entities
think,
right now?
I feel
Someone else
I
wants to
think,
cross over too.
Mike is like right at that verge.
Yeah,
You just need to finish that.
yeah, just say
'Cause
goodbye.
there's
and tell
somebody
him to
else
go.
who's like pushing through.
I wonder if
Okay.
it's George.
Yep.
Okay, so Mike,
Someone's grabbing my
take
hand,
that
too.
first step. Can you do that into the light?
Lisa will be right there on the other side
They'll-
for you.
Go
They'll
ahead
be-
and do it.
Yep, there'll be someone there to greet you. Just go, okay? We love you, and peace will be with you, brother.
He just went.
Yeah.
There's somebody else here though that
Somebody
wants
else
to talk.
wants- yeah.
George.
George?
Yep, there it goes.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe he wants help crossing
Full
over.
blown chill.
I got goosebumps this whole
Okay.
time.
Do you need help crossing over?
George, is your name Herman too?
Herman.
Thank you.
Where'd you get that from?
Is that his last name or what?
Okay, so
Let's let them.
you've been wandering around for a while, buddy. You need to follow Michael into the light. Everybody's gonna be okay. Can you do
saying
that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Can you open them back up again? Thank
Yeah.
you.
You just
Okay.
saw Mike cross over, so now you know how to do it and you know that it's safe.
Will you go into the light? Okay. Don't worry about it. Your buddies will be there to meet you.
We're all
They've
here.
been waiting for you for
We're
a
all
long
here.
time.
Good vibes and prayers to send you off.
So, you've served your purpose here. Love you too. And just go into the light and we'll talk to you. Can you do that? All right. Peace be with you too, brother.
He just went too.
I think you're gonna have some more therapy sessions.
Oh, there's like this full pull. Oh,
That's what it was doing to you earlier. I wonder if it was the same one. Remember in 207 they kept turning around and pointing at you?
It's
Yep.
peaceful.
It was
just
probably
big.
probably George saying
It's like a
"Hey."
hug.
Yeah.
I think I
it's
hugged
like a
goodbye.
hug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
But it's
Like a
tight.
thank
Like it's
you, yeah.
really pulling into me.
Welcome to my world.
Okay, let's.
Can we open them back up, please? Thank you. All the way. Thank you.
Whee!
Good job.
All right.
So we see if that elderly lady's still in here.
Is there anybody else still here?
My throat hurts.
It's kind of dry feeling. Mine too. And thirsty.
What are we doing here?
Open them back up, please.
Can you open them?
Are you the older lady?
The one who fell?
I don't think she appreciates being called older.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
very sorry. I'm very sorry.
She's of
Please
a
forgive
certain
me.
age.
Yeah.
Please forgive me. Well,
Yes,
thank
she
you.
says yes.
I'm very sorry.
Do you need help crossing over as well? No? You want to stay here?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
After she opens it back up. Does your name start with an E? No. Okay.
But
Is their name
Start with a B. Is it the same one you're talking to?
is their name Jackie?
Gail?
This might be someone different.
Yeah,
Gail?
Gail
Oh, there we
sounds
go.
like an appropriate
We
name.
did hear Gail when we were in, remember? In the other room.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to formally meet you, Gail.
Nice to meet you, Gail. Gail, is there anything that we can do to help you?
Okay, here's the thing about Gail. I see her. So she's crossed over.
Okay.
She's just visiting.
Gotcha.
She's just like saying hey. She's okay.
Yeah.
She's
I
just
got
saying
chill
hey.
from cold.
Just feels like talking for
Just-
a little bit.
Yeah. She's just coming in to say hey. Like when I'm doing
Hey.
She's a certain age. Please forgive me.
Yeah.
Did you have children, Gail?
Yes, she does. I'm very sorry. Very sorry. She's of a certain age.
Are they going through a tough time right now?
Yes, she does. I'm very sorry.
Okay,
Do you need help?
Is that why you came back to visit?
I think so.
Yeah.
You want to stay here?
You'll get them through this tough time. They'll be okay.
Can you straighten back out again?
Does your name start with an E?
Sorry, I lost it.
Does your name start with an E?
I stopped this.
Is your name Jack?
Alright. I feel like the room kind of cleaned out now.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of such a little nerd about like taking notes and stuff. So yesterday, taking my notes, I wrote down Gail and a key card, right? And then last night in the room there was something about Gail, right? So this morning we're coming down here, Heather and I, and we're like, where should we sit? No, there's a table there. Anyways, let's go in here. Heather goes, let's go in here.
Felt
And-
cold to come in here.
Yeah, and so we come in here, we take the big table, we're sitting here looking around, and all of a sudden she points over towards that plastic container there.
Yeah, I don't know if you can spin that. 1 second.
So,
Maybe we should.
You probably get a shot of the container afterwards.
Yeah. This one?
and so,
Here, I'll do
turn
this.
that container around now, Heather. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I was wondering.
What's in the box? Is just paintbrushes?
Yeah, so now we gotta find out
But,
kind of how.
well,
her-
Gail was the woman in our room.
Right, but,
The, not old, but older.
The name that we got for
so now we gotta kind of find out really, kind of, maybe somebody
Whose
knows.
box that is.
Yeah,
Is it somebody who's still around and we have a different Gail?
yeah,
I thought that was kind of cool. A little bit
Yeah.
of validation there.
Maybe I'll get you something.
that's what I was thinking.
Well, maybe she they look like Tammy's brushes. Like she, makes you wonder if she had some inspiration from Gail, and that's why she did that big menu over there. Maybe, because she said she was trying to make that room feel better.
Well, we thought that was kind of cool.
That's
I
great.
Like I said, we
Yeah.
kind of felt a pull to come in here, and
Because we had name a couple of different places.
obviously that might be why.
Four in the morning, I'm gone, driving towards the conquering of dawn. And she stands in front of my eyes, shifting the gears until I crash and fall to a dream in her arms. What a day to begin. Ooh. same.